legends are made. Spud Kings on the ice, ready to invade. The Grim Reaper breaks free, impossible to tame. The wall defends, shutting down the game. Edwards and Schmidt, a true tag team. Breaking through the lines, they play supreme. The Spud Kingdom rises, loyal and proud. Idaho Falls rocking, we're bringing the crowd. Spud Kings, we own this night. The kingdom roars like fire, we ignite. Coming for the cup, we bring the fight. Spud Kingdom, we rise, unite.
What's going on, people? Welcome to another episode of the Spud Kingdom podcast. I am your host, as always, Woody. How you doing out there? Happy Halloween. I'm hoping you're having a good day, getting ready for the big game this weekend. Fortunately, there's only one. We'll get to that later. How's everybody feeling out there? You guys excited? Ready for the next month? Games are going to be coming back in a couple weeks. Excited for that to happen. They've been gone for far too long, I feel. So, yeah, I got some trivia like usual. Got the weekend recap from this last weekend in Pueblo. Got the 3 stars of the week. I have the Mountain Division Player of the Week. We got some standings, and I got a preview of this weekend's game. So, without further ado, let's get it cracking. So this week, start off with the trivia. And like I do this the last few weeks, I do the trivia at the beginning and give you the answer at the end. See if you get it right. Give yourself a pat on the back and so on. The trivia question for this week is, who led the NHL in saves last season? So think about that for a little bit. Ponder on it. Google it if you want. And we'll get to the answer here in a little bit. So the weekend recap. Game 1. Friday, October 24th, 2025 at the Pueblo Ice Arena and Event Center in Pueblo, Colorado versus the Pueblo Bulls. This game will be all Spud Kings. They came out quick. They came out early. They put some fire and some passion in the skating. Like, there was a lot going on in this game. I was feeling real good about the team. I'm pretty sure most of you was as well. So let's get to some of the highlights. First period, shots on goal would be close. Spud Kings would have a small advantage. Pueblo had 9 shots on goal. Spud Kings had 11. Pueblo would strike first, however, and had me a little nervous to start the game, just a little bit, because they did get it pretty quick. At 5 minutes and 14 seconds, Benjamin Taylor would put Pueblo up 1-0. And it would take 7 minutes before the Spud Kings could answer back. But at 12 minutes, 30 seconds, Caleb Lepeat would get his second on the year, and he was assisted by Bravery Esplin for his second and Owen Byer for his third. 5 minutes later, about 5.5 minutes later, the Grim Reaper would strike. Sam Grimaldi would get his 4th of the year, and he was assisted on the play by Will Strickland for his third. This would put the Spud Kings up 2-1, and the period would end that way as well. So we had the Pete goal, and then we had the Grim Reaper getting the strike. And then the second period, the shot battle once again would be close, and the Spud Kings would win it this time around as well. Pueblo had 11 shots on goal. Spud Kings had 13. It would only be about 4 minutes before the Grim Reaper would take another soul. And at 4 minutes and 5 seconds for his 5th goal of the year, he was assisted on the play by DJ the Beast McLeish for his 6th, and the Spud Kings go up 3-1. 46 seconds later, at 4 minutes and 51 seconds, Camden Cunningham gets his first goal of the year. He was assisted by his brother Braden for his first assist of the year, and Isaac Sabel for his second. Action would stall for a little while, but the Spud Kings were not done scoring in this period. And at 17 minutes and 13 seconds, Leo Mantanito would get his second of the year, and he was assisted on the play by Caleb Lepeat for his 4th. Period would end 5-1 Spud Kings. Third period, the Spud Kings would lose the shot battle in this period, but only by 1, and mainly because they were just trying to play that defense that coasted out. They got a big lead, trying not to do too much and make sure they're not making too many mistakes. So with that, Pueblo had 9 shots on goal. Spud Kings had 8. Only 1 goal in the period, and it came on a power play opportunity by the Spud Kings. At 6 minutes, 5 seconds, DJ, the Beast, McLeish would get his 5th on the year, and he was assisted on the play by Caleb Lapete once again for his 5th. And the period and the game would end 6-1. Spud Kings win, baby. Big game. Devin Degenstein stopped 28 out of 29 shots for a save percentage of 96.6. Good performances by the Spud Kings and Degenstein. Like, Pueblo was a tough team for us last year. They're hanging in the weeds. They're like right below us in the rankings. So we knew usually these guys put up a battle. For us to get a big blowout in the first game was huge. That was big. So game 2. Second game would be the following night, Saturday, October 25th, 2025, also at the Pueblo Ice Arena and Event Center in Pueblo versus the Bulls. This game had me questioning what happened the night before, and had me start thinking about how the injuries are starting to show up a little bit here on the team. We're missing some key players and whatnot right now. And, I thought we were going to have a big momentum push coming into this game because of the big win the night before. But it was a little bit different. So first period, shot battle would be pretty even once again. Pueblo would have 11 shots on goal. The Spud Kings would have 10. Wouldn't take long for the scoring to begin, though. And at 1 minute, 3 seconds, Owen Byer would get his 3rd goal of the year, and he was assisted on the play by DJ the Beast McLeish for his 7th. And the Spud Kings would go up 1-0. So, like I said, you had you feeling good, momentum swinging from the game before. And then almost 2 minutes later, at 2 minutes, 58 seconds, Bravery Esplin would get his 2nd of the year. And he was assisted on the play by Braden Olson for his 2nd and Leo the Man Tenuto for his 6th. Spud Kings go up 2-0. The action would stall a little through the period, but at 17 minutes, 10 seconds, the Spud Kings would strike again. Owen Byer would get his 4th goal of the year, and he was assisted by Sam Grimaldi, his 8th, and Leo Mantenuto, his 7th. Spud Kings go up 3-0 on the period, and it would end that way. Second period, this would be a Pueblo-dominated period, mainly in the shot battle, but they would dominate in basically overall in this one. Pueblo had 17 shots on goal. Spud Kings had 7. And like I was saying, not only would they dominate the shot battle, they would also dominate the period in general. The first goal would come at 22 seconds as Brody Clark would start off the scoring for Pueblo and make it a 3-1 Spud Kings lead. The next goal for Pueblo would come at 4 minutes, 27 seconds. Blake Schultz would make it a 3-2 Spud Kings lead. So they're creeping up and they're making a comeback. And it would only be 10 minutes later before we would have another goal. But about 14 minutes and 14 seconds, Marcus Jackson would add to the comeback, and it would tie the game all at 3. 4 minutes later, though, at 18 minutes and 32 seconds, Joshua Granowicz, he would put Pueblo up into the lead 4-3. The period would end 4-3 Bulls. Completely flip-flop from the first period. Pueblo came out big in this one, ends up tying the game, taking the lead. 4 straight unanswered goals. It was just big period for Pueblo in this one. So in the third period, the Spud Kings would win the shot battle in this period, but it wouldn't make too much of a difference. Pueblo had 8 shots on goal. Spud Kings had 11. There would only be 1 goal in the period, and it happened pretty quick. At 1 minute and 57 seconds, Tyler Atchison would stay hot and get his 4th goal of the year. He was assisted on the play by Lucas Ronner for his 4th, and that would tie the game. The period would not have any more scoring, and it would end 4-4 tie. And we go to overtime. So in overtime, Pueblo would dominate the shot battle, but neither team would score. Pueblo had 7 shots on goal. Spud Kings had 1. Nobody could get anything past either goalie. So we would go to a shootout. In the shootout, for whatever reason, USPHL does not put the shootout stats up, so I don't even know the play-by-play and stuff. I had to go back and watch this again, so this is the best to my knowledge and from what the announcers were saying of who was going. So Leo Mantenuto would go first for the Spud Kings. He would make a great move, but unfortunately he would lose the pluck. He would lose the puck, and it would go past the blue line, and unfortunately it would be a failed attempt. Clay Ellsworth would get the first try for this for Pueblo, and he would go top shelf and get the first goal. So it was a great move. He didn't really make a move, but he just made a great shot. Went right over the top. I guess it would be Dagenstein's left shoulder and went right into the net. It was a great goal. So Caleb Lepete would go next for the Spud Kings, and he would get stoned at the line. Like this puck literally stopped at the line. So it was great play by their goalie. I think they said Taylor would be the next one up for Pueblo, but I couldn't really hear and I couldn't see the number. But either way, it didn't matter because he was denied by Dagenstein. Tyler Atchison would get a chance in the middle of his hot streak, and he would score low glove side to keep the shootout going. So he ties it up at 1. And then Jimmy Zeisel would be the next for the Bulls, and he would get stopped. So it's still all tied up. Now we're into the 4th, so basically whoever scores here is going to be a winner. DJ McLeese would be the first one to get the attempt, and he would get stopped. He made a pretty decent move, but he just it went when his shot just got blocked. He just got stopped, unfortunately. Schultz would be the one that would take the next shot for the Bulls, and he would win it for Pueblo. He made a great move and got a great goal and got it past Dagenstein. He would win the shootout 2-1 in the game 5-4. Unfortunately, the Spud Kings lose this one. Dagenstein had a rough game. He stopped 35 out of 39 shots, only an 89.7 save percentage, and he gave up 2 in the shootout. Rough game for the Spud Kings, giving up a 3-goal lead. So not just, I don't know exactly what happened in the breakdown in the defense in the second period, but we just 3-goal lead. You can't just be playing coast to coast like that. Like eventually it's going to harm us. And this is where I think our injuries started affecting us. Missing Schmidt, we're missing a couple key players. So who knows what would be different if they were out there on the ice. Can't wait to get them back, hopefully soon, so we can change this a little bit. With that, end of the recap there. We go 1-1 on the weekend. That one loss, though, being in overtime, still gets us a point. So we'll go to my 3 stars of the week. My 3rd star. Now, this one was a little tough. I had 1, 2, 3 guys to choose from that all had very similar stats here. But I went with Leo the Mantenuto. He had 1 goal, 2 assists, and 3 total points on the weekend. He's been playing big from that defensive position, always finding himself in the right spots. He's just a big contributor on the weekend. If you guys are wondering who my runner-ups were, it was DJ and Caleb Lepete. All 3 of those guys all had 1 goal and 2 assists on the weekend. So it was just a tough choice between all of them. My 2nd star, Owen Beyer. He had 2 goals and 1 assist on the weekend for 3 total points as well. 2 goals were big. What can I say? Owen has been a great goal scorer since he's came over to the team since last year, around the trade area. I think it was about winter break time he came over. And he's been a big contributor, and I love having him on the team. So our 2nd star, Owen Beyer. 1st star, the Grim Reaper, Sammy Grimaldi. He had 2 goals and 1 assist on the weekend, 3 total points, stealing some souls. Keep adding to that hot streak that he's been on since the end of last season. And he's truly emerged as one of our top performers and top players and top point getters. And it's just amazing to see the change that he had somewhere in the middle of last season something just flipped and he just became one of these stars for our team. So third star, Leo the Mantenuto. Second star, Owen Byer. First star, the Grim Reaper, Sam Grimaldi. And with that, we'll go to the stars of the week for the Mountain Division. And we had two players show up on the list. Offensive Player of the Week. My second star of the week, Owen Byer. He was the Offensive Player of the Week for the Mountain Division, so let's give it up for him. And then our Defensive Player of the Week from our Spud Kings, Leo the Mantenuto. So congratulations to those two guys putting out stars of the week in the Mountain Division. Hopefully we can get somebody to add to that this week. Fortunately, we only have the one game, so we'll see how that goes. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. Let's get to some stats. Stat leaders. Our assist leader is Sammy the Grim Reaper Grimaldi with 8. And in second is DJ the Beast McLeish with 7. So those two guys right there, that's 15 assists just between the two of them. And there's some other guys right behind them with like 5, 4, and so on and so on. So Sammy's first on the team with 8. DJ second with 7. Our goals leader first, DJ and Sam both tied with 5. And then right behind them, Owen Byer and Tyler Atchison both have 4 goals. Then our points leader, first place, Sammy Grimaldi with 13 overall points. He's got 8 assists and 5 goals. And then in second is DJ the Beast McLeish with 7 assists and the 5 goals. He's got 12 points. Overall standings. So as it sits right now before this weekend starts in the games, first place is the Ogden Mustangs with an 11-1 record, with the one loss being in overtime, so they have 23 overall points. Second place, the Grand Junction Riverhawks, 8-6 on the year, but 2 of those losses are in overtime, so they have 18 points overall. Third place, your Idaho Falls Spud Kings. You got a 7-4 record this year, with one of those losses being in overtime last week in the shootout. Got 15 points overall. So let's see what we can do this weekend to hopefully increase in those rankings, get a couple points to add to the total. Cheer on our boys, see what we can do. Trivia answer. All right, so if you guys don't remember, let me repeat the question. The question was, who led the NHL in saves last season? And it gave you guys some time to think about it. We went through the rundown. We went through everything. And the answer is Igor Shesterkin of the New York Rangers with 1,584 saves. So pat yourself on the back if you got that right. High five somebody that's standing next to you, even if they don't know what it's for. Doesn't matter. You know you got it. So with that, let's get to the weekend preview. Like I've been saying a couple times already, only one game this weekend, and it will be tomorrow night, Saturday, November 1st, in Park City, Utah, versus the Utah Outliers at the new Black Rock Event Center. If you can't make it to the game, you can watch it on Black Bear TV. I'm going to do my best to watch it. I'm sure it's part of my plans. I want to see how this new hockey arena looks for Utah. I'm excited to see it. I'm hoping our boys can get a big W because we need this game. This is a big game. Utah gave us quite a battle last time we played them. Let's see if we can bounce back and get a victory and get those 2 points in the standings. We really need some more points in the standings. Hopefully this little break that we've had with only one game this weekend, we can get some people back. So when we come back to Idaho Falls for a home game, hopefully we can have some guys. So that wraps everything up. Once again, I am your host, Woody. Thank you for tuning in. I cannot do this without you. You are the reason why I do this. If I wasn't doing it for you, I'd just be talking to myself, and that's not that fun because I'm not really accomplishing much this time. We all talk to ourselves, but this isn't for that reason. This is all for you guys, the Spud Kingdom. And with that being said, Go Spud King!
Rivals crumble as the anthem plays. The beast off the leash setting the stage ablaze. Edwards with the setup, Schmidt with the strike. Spud Kings on the rig, rewriting the hype. Fear the stash, it's the pride of the crew. The Spud Kingdom strong, loyal through and through. Blood and sweat, our victories